so this is going to be EXP routing for 2.2. There was 2 new zones added. This video is just going to be focused on the first of the 2 zones. It's fairly quick. It's the Soulglad Scorchsand Audition venue. This does require you to complete the full story to get access to all the areas, but only 3 areas are technically needed for as far as the EXP. But you still have to beat the whole main story to get access to all 3 zones, because 2 of the zones are opposing each other, so you can only pick one on each of the islands as you go through the story. So it's these first 2 here, and then the right one here. So we're actually going to go ahead and start with the right one. This is pretty simple. The amount of enemies, let me pull this up again. I had this. So there's a total of 58 enemies, which is a total of 6,264 EXP, and you get about like 3,500 credits for running this. This is pretty quick though, so this is only going to be like probably a few minutes. Yeah, so you just teleport here, and there's immediately a fight to the side. Alright, so yeah, you got those 2 enemies right there, just like right out the gate. And then you head up here, you head to the right. There are like a couple recharge stations, like over there, if you need them. Off in the distance, there'll be a single enemy right here. Alright. That guy, then we jump over to the next island. So off to the right, I got a new controller, so it's funky to use. There's just 2 fights on this island, and then you're done with this this section. Alright, and that takes care of this island. There's no further enemies further on, it's just those 2, so when you get to the menu you can just push extra square to back out. Yeah, whatever it says in the upper right where it says the map. So up there, because I'm on a new controller that has PC prompts and well, Xbox prompts instead of PlayStation prompts now. So now we gotta do the first island. There's 2 sides on the first island, so again you have to complete the main story to get access to everything. But recharge right there. There's just a couple fights on this side. There's a few more on the other. Okay. And then, oh yeah, there's no fights on the other side. Okay, so it's just those 3 fights. And then the last side, there's a couple fights on this side. Now these enemies were kind of weird because they don't aggro at all. It's very strange. Recharge station right there, and just go right into fighting.
Another precious memory to hold on to.
Other 2 here.
Another precious memory to hold
Those,
on to.
and then up here you got a triple battle. Alright, with those 3, then there's just 2 more. Not on the left, but on the right here.
Precious memory to hold
Alright,
on to.
and that's it. Very quick zone, honestly, and the number of enemies is actually comparable to the space station in its entirety. Minus just a single zone of space station, specifically the seclusion zone. But like the supply zone, storage zone, and base zone, like running all 3 of those takes a bit because it's quite a bit of running. But this single zone actually has more enemies than that, and relatively quick to run. If you're using Akron, you can probably run this in under 3 minutes. probably even quicker. Probably get it down like under 3 minutes, maybe even down to 2 minutes if you're really quick about it. But like if you're using other characters, and you have to actually fight the enemies. It's still pretty quick. It's probably about 8 minutes gun fight time. The enemies do take a little bit longer than like space station enemies to fight, but overall pretty simple. This zone actually isn't too bad. The next zone has the Grand Theater. Has a couple of these box rooms, so I want to make sure I kind of get the right routing nailed down. Most of it is actually not too bad, but I just want to familiarize it so I can make the video well. So it'll be probably a couple days. I'm just gonna look through and figure out exactly how to route this. But once I got it figured down and I'm confident in it, I'll go ahead and record a video running this zone so you guys can see that. It has a decent amount of enemies too, the Pinnacle Grand Theater. It's 135 enemies, which is the second highest after the Reverie. That's it. And then a previous video, the Clocky theme park, there's a fight that's on this lower platform with two of the TV enemies. They were moved down here, so you just kind of skip this part. You still want to run up here, go through the maze, fight those two, teleport to the Southern Island and follow the path like my previous video showed. Yeah, because whenever they add these stagnant shadows, they actually do move the enemies around. Same with the Galaxies if there's enemies that were in the area. This happened once before. Well, actually, that's happened I think a couple times, but the most notable one that I can think of recently was Lufu. It was in the Artisan Commission, yeah. So when they added this stagnant shadow, there was actually two fights here, and these two fights got moved over to this right wing, which actually makes the routing a lot more simpler because you don't have to go down here and then back out and around. You just loop through here and just go straight down and just completely skip that area. So they actually did improve the routing. Same with the Clocky Studio. It actually did improve the routing because you don't have to go to that solitary island just for two fights. You'll just encounter it when you hit to the Southern Island and follow the route from there. So, yeah, I don't know. Very strange. Do recommend this zone, especially if you have Acheron and you want to do EXP grinding. This is a really good zone. Like, there's a couple energy recharge stations, which makes it fairly efficient to run through here. You'll get enough credits to pay for some trick stacks. And if you want a guide on like where to buy all the TP items, I can actually make a guide for that. I'll actually probably do that. So yeah, I'll do that. I'll have that out this weekend. So thanks for joining. Again, it was just the 3 islands that you hit. The Hanu Island has nothing, and both the final stage sections, they don't have anything either. So we won't show anything else in the zone just to make sure we don't spoil anything.